We have a fantastic episode this month on the TCTV Training Show. We're going to see some rare footage of the spotted owl. We're going to learn about animals at Tumwater Falls in Ashley's Animal Adventures, and we're going to see a sneak preview of Halo Night at Evergreen. All this and more on the TCTV Training Show coming up next.
It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They're learning how to shoot and learning how to light, learning how to mic and edit right. These are TCTV's finest in training, doing their best with focusing and framing. It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. You're watching TCTV. It's the Training Show. The TCTV Training Show. They will get better.
Hi, and welcome to the TCTV Training Show. I'm Robert Kim, the Member Services and Media Education Manager for TCTV. We wanted to take this opportunity to remind you that TCTV and the TCTV Training Show love you very much. We also wanted to say happy birthday to the TCTV Training Show. This month marks our 1-year anniversary of putting the TCTV Training Show on air on TCTV Channel 22. And the TCTV Training Show comes on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. and again on Sundays at 3:30 p.m. So be sure to check it out every month. There's a new episode each month. The videos you'll see on this episode were made by members of the Digital Field and Editing class. If you'd like to be part of the Digital Field and Editing class, give us a call at 956-3100. You can also go to our website, tctv.net, and click on training to find out when the class is offered. With that, let's get to our first segment by Gail Johnson about the spotted owl. Lots of things going on in this episode, I tell you. Anyway, I really liked this piece by Gail Johnson. The footage was really cool. Really great close-ups of the owl. A little bit shaky, but of course he had to hike into the woods a bit. Really hard to take a tripod in there. Failing a tripod, he had a really steady hand. Remember that if you do go handheld, always zoom out all the way so that it does it. Anytime you zoom in at all, it increases any kind of little jerk your hand makes. There weren't any interviews in this piece. All the information was delivered via text at the bottom of the screen. And that's okay. I think maybe some interviews might have made this piece a little bit stronger. I like the music. The music was fitting, but it did get annoyingly repetitive. And there are longer pieces of music on the desktop under music and sound effects. You just have to find them and check out their link before you import them into your project. Another thing it could have used is some ambient sound. And when we say ambient sound, we're talking about, in this case, the sounds of the forest. Maybe some birds chirping and various leaves rustling from the people walking around, anything like that. Just put it underneath, maybe you could bring down the level a little bit, but that kind of makes you more a part of the video. And even underneath music or voiceover or interviews, you can always have that ambient sound, so keep that in mind. I really like this video. I thought the video itself was very valuable. The footage of the owl and everything seemed they really went out of their way to get this stuff. And so that's a treasure right there. Also, it could have used a fade out at the end. At the end, we just kind of video stopped. They dissolved that to black and fade out the music at the same time, and that would have been a little better. But good job, Gail. Let's go to our next video, produced by Carmine Evangelista, featuring his daughter Ashley.
My name is Ashley and I'm 8 years old. I would like to be doing some exploring around here in Olympia, and why don't you go join me? Come on, let's go. Hi, we're at Tumwater Falls, and there's supposed to be some deer around here. I did see a seagull, and it was a very pretty view. And now we're over here at the hatchery at the Tumwater Falls. There's some Chinook salmon here, and they're literally jumping out of the water. Okay, now we're over here at another spot of Tumwater Falls, and there's this really neat totem pole that I wanted to show you. I think totem poles are actually really neat because they can be all sorts of designs. They've been created for a long time. You can see it has some designs on the back also. Why don't we just come on and have a look at it? Okay, now we're here at the actual waterfalls, and it's actually really beautiful. You can see it is really, really loud. It appears that these beautiful falls have been here since the first settlers. Okay, here's a memorial what we've just talked about. Why don't you go ahead and take a look at it? It says, the arrival at Tumwater of the first American colony on Puget Sound, October 1845. I wanted to say goodbye from the Tumwater Falls, and thank you for joining me on that great, exciting trip, and hopefully we'll see some more animals and stuff next time. I know we didn't get to see very many, but that's okay. You can join me on my next trip. Bye.
All right, it looks like Ashley's on her way to a career as an on-air television host. Great job, Ashley, and great job, Carmine, on your video. I noticed this video had a lot of editing in it, and sometimes that's necessary. Seems like he spent a lot of time doing that, and kudos to you, Carmine, for all that editing work. I noticed some transitions in between to cover up some maybe some first time jitters with the host there. You know, getting out there for the first time, you don't exactly know what to say. You just edit it together. That's fine. Use some transitions, maybe some. I would stick with dissolves if you're going to do what Carmine was doing there. You're just going to dissolve from Ashley saying one thing to her saying another thing. The best way to do it really would be to use cutaways. If she's talking about a totem pole, just cut away to that. You don't have to pan over and get the totem pole as she mentions it. You can always stay on her, stop recording, start recording on the totem pole, edit it in later. The best way to handle like host flubs, the best way to do that is to use cutaways. You can cut away to something else like the totem pole, then cut back to Ashley as she's finishing the statement, and then you didn't even notice that you went anywhere. You've been on Ashley the whole time, the viewer just saw the totem pole in between. I noticed that the waterfall was very prominent in the soundtrack. It was really loud in comparison with Ashley's voice, and I'm suspecting that microphone she's holding right there is not picking up the sound, and that it's not hooked up right, and we're just listening to the sound off of the camera mic. And that happens a lot where you didn't get it plugged in right, or something happened there. Maybe you had the XLR camera adapter on the bottom of the camera, but it wasn't hooked up. So you're just picking up the sound off of the camera mic. I'm suspecting that that's the case because those waterfalls wouldn't be as loud as they were in this video on a cardioid handheld mic. Where are the animals? This is an animal adventure. I guess we'll see some animals in part 2. Well, you know, if you happen to produce a video that was supposed to be about one thing and turned out to be about something else, well, just name it something else. You don't have to call it Ashley's Animal Adventures. If there aren't any animals, call it Ashley's Adventures to Tumwater Falls. Another thing I took offense to was the special thanks to TCTV at the very end was way too short. Definitely, anytime you're going to thank TCTV, have that shot up for at least a good 30 seconds. No, I'm kidding. But 5 or 10 seconds should be fine. So another thing that Carmine did, which a lot of first-time producers do, is overuse those transitions. And be careful when you're overusing those transitions. It is a little bit distracting. You got that star coming out, and you'll see that a lot on the TCTV Training Show because it's the first experience with that star wipe, and you got to get it out of your system, and that's okay. But just for the future, you know, easy on the wipes. Use one that maybe fits the subject matter, and only use it when you're going to change the idea or change location or do something that warrants a transition such as a star wipe. But great job, Carmine and Ashley, and we hope to see some more of your videos. We hope to see you back at TCTV. Let's go to our next producer, Peter Goodmanson.
SVGA is an evergreen student group, activities group that focuses on video games. Now, a lot of people think video games are actually some non-social activity, but in the room now I can see in excess of 25 people playing video games, hanging out, talking, sharing controls, and enjoying each other's company.
I'm the only one left. The rest are zombies. And this is like my third game, so I know how to move at least. That's good. And shoot. His corpse. This isn't cool.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world it didn't exist.
All right, great job, Peter. I love the beginning. They had the intro there edited to the beat of that music he chose. Seems like that took a lot of time, and we thank you for that. Also, I noticed some ambient sound in this piece, and I was talking about ambient sound earlier on. You can hear the people playing, you can hear the hands pressing the buttons on the controllers, you can hear like all of the sound, and all that is just kind of at the bottom, you know, just down low behind all of the other music and voiceovers and interviews and stuff, all that just ambient sound at the very bottom, just to make you feel like more like you're there, and that's always good to have. So this part in the video where the guy starts talking and then there's a dissolve to him talking some more, seems like there was something he had to cut out, but he had to keep that very first part. Well, in this case, what I would have done is started the guy talking, and this is only okay if it's just a couple of seconds. You start the guy talking underneath the sign, which is right here. You keep this sign on a little bit longer. He's talking. We go to him, and then it continues on. So this is what it really looks like.
SVGA is an evergreen student group, activities group that focuses on video games.
I commend Peter on his use of close-ups in this piece. There were close-ups of the screen, close-ups of people's faces, close-ups of people's hands working the controllers. Those were really nice. Something that maybe the video could have used is a voiceover, just kind of explaining things at the very beginning, just bringing us in, telling us what's going on, why are we here, how did we get here, that kind of thing. Another thing voiceovers can do is take you from one point to another, say one idea to something completely different. You don't have maybe somebody's interview you don't have a piece out of somebody's interview to do that. Well, you just write it yourself and you just read it, and then you use some cutaways as the video. Since you don't have a video, we're talking voiceover. That's the, you know, the voice with other video in front of it. And so voiceovers are very powerful, very handy tool whenever you need to change your idea or just start the idea from the very beginning. A little narration at the beginning, maybe a little narration at the end, and a little bit in the middle just to bring you from one point to another. Great job, Peter. Well, I bet you're wondering where that thing came from and where all the other little things came from. In this episode of the TCTV Training Show, I actually got it off the internet, and it was public domain clip art that I put on a flash drive, put it on my external hard drive, and then imported it into my editing project. Coming up next, Peter Goodmanson is going to teach you how to do all that in this month's Training Tip of the Day.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a magician. And today I'm going to teach you about how we import clip art from our flash drive into Final Cut Express HD. A flash drive, sometimes known as a thumb drive, is a traveling hard drive. And this will store a lot of data. You can put anything you want on here. Pictures, music, movies. Movies not so much because they take up a lot of space, but keep it in mind for smaller clips. This is a 1 gigabyte flash drive, and I've preloaded some clip art onto it. So let's get started loading this onto the Mac. Now you can plug your flash drive into the USB port on the keyboard, but this port here is usually only USB 1.0, which means that you're going to get a slower transfer rate. If you have a much higher resolution picture that you want to transfer to your Mac, I would recommend using the USB port on the back of the Mac. It's USB 2.0, which means that it'll go much faster. It's a little bit harder to reach, but it's worth it so you don't have to wait around as much. So what we have to do first is copy the file from the flash drive to your hard drive. So we're going to turn it on. Wait until the icon pops up here. We're going to plug in our USB flash drive and choose which clip you want. I want whiterabbit.gif. So I'm just going to drag that onto my Seagate hard drive. Now once we've done this, we can go ahead and open Final Cut Express HD. Oh, what's this? My system configuration may have changed. Well, when you load up Final Cut Express, it's going to want to know where your scratch disks are located. And so you'll navigate to your hard drive, set your waveform, thumbnail, and autosave vault as well. Go ahead and click OK. And now we can start importing. So head up to File, go to Import, Files. We're going to navigate to our hard drive. Choose the clip art that we just imported from our thumb drive and click Choose. Now we can pull up White Rabbit here in our viewer. Check that out. Once we have it here, we can easily just drag it down onto our track, and you can do whatever you want with it. Since I'm a magician, I will probably have it come out of a hat. So as you can see, importing clip art from a thumb drive is as easy as can be. And like that, you're done.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. I do want to warn you, if you're going to use clip art and other images and things off the internet, you should make sure that you have the rights to use them. A lot of things are copyrighted and you could be breaking the law. Make sure it says either public domain or certain Creative Commons license. Just make sure you know what you're doing, what you're getting yourself into, and try not to break the law. That's it for this episode of the TCTV Training Show. If you'd like to be part of the digital field and editing class and thus a part of this show, give us a call at 956-3100. You can also go to our website, www.tctv.net, and click on Training to find out when the class is offered. You do have to be a member of TCTV, and you must have gone through orientation to take any of our classes. Remember to watch the TCTV Training Show on Thursdays at 8 p.m. and on Sundays at 3:30 p.m. only on TCTV Channel 22. Until next month, I'm Robert Kim, and I'll see you next time.
It's the TCTV Training Show. The TCTV Training Show.
So even though the music clip was fitting, even though let's go back. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing now? I really like that. So great job with that. I can't do it again. I just can't.
The TCTV Training Show. they will get better.